Psoriasis is often called a skin disease. But what if the worst parts aren't the parts you can see? What if the real toll of psoriasis isn't just on the skin, but on the body, the mind, the soul? Today we're talking about the invisible symptoms of psoriasis, the side of this condition that no one talks about, but that affects millions every day. When we think of psoriasis, we often think of red, scaly patches of skin. That's what most people see. And to be fair, those visible symptoms are hard to ignore. But what we don't see are the hidden battles, the itching that never stops, the pain that spreads like wildfire under the surface, the fatigue that weighs down on you, making every movement feel like a mountain to climb. These are the invisible symptoms, the ones that don't show up on social media or in a doctor's office. They're harder to talk about because you can't see them. But they're real. They're just as impactful, and sometimes they hurt more than the visible signs. Psoriasis doesn't just impact the body, it impacts the mind. When your skin is inflamed, it's hard to feel good about yourself. When the world treats you differently because of your appearance, you start to believe their judgments. The mental toll of psoriasis can be overwhelming. Anxiety, depression. Psoriasis doesn't just affect how we look, it affects how we feel about ourselves. We are often told to just ignore the stigma. But it's not that simple. When you see yourself in the mirror and feel defeated, it's hard not to believe those stereotypes, even if they aren't true. And when it feels like you have to explain yourself every single time, it wears you down. But the pain of psoriasis isn't just emotional, it's physical. The itching, the burning, the sensitivity, it's often described as a fire under the skin. Psoriatic arthritis, a common co-condition with psoriasis, causes deep joint pain that many people don't realize comes with the territory. Imagine trying to walk when your joints feel swollen and stiff, or working with hands that ache with every movement. Psoriasis is painful. And the hardest part? When you tell someone about the pain, they often don't understand. They look at your skin and think you're fine, but the pain, it's a constant companion. A companion nobody can see. And then there's the fatigue, the kind of tired that isn't solved by a good night's sleep, the kind of tired that lingers, weighing you down, stealing your energy bit by bit. Chronic fatigue is one of the hardest invisible symptoms of psoriasis. It's not just being a little tired after a busy day. It's an overwhelming exhaustion that makes simple tasks feel impossible. It's waking up in the morning feeling like you've already run a marathon. It's losing hours of your day because your body simply won't cooperate. It's hard to explain this to people who can't see it. After all, if you don't look tired, how could anyone know just how exhausting it is to live with psoriasis? Social withdrawal isn't always a choice. Sometimes it's a defense. When flares appear, or when the exhaustion kicks in, it's easier to stay home than answer one more question, fake one more smile, or explain, again, that no, it's not contagious. Invitations are turned down, calls go unanswered, not because we don't care, but because it's just too much that day. And slowly, silence grows where friendships used to be. Psoriasis is expensive, not just in creams or medications, but in missed work, unpaid leave, and the constant fear of being seen as unreliable. Job interviews become nerve-wracking. Will they notice my skin? Will they ask? Will I have to explain? Again? Some employers get it, many don't. And between specialist visits, pharmacy bills, and time off during flares, the cost of psoriasis becomes more than skin. It touches our stability, our confidence, and sometimes our sense of worth. Now let's talk about something even less visible: the effect on intimacy. Psoriasis can chip away at how we see ourselves. The mirror becomes a reminder, not a reflection. And when it comes to love, to closeness, to physical touch, there's fear, shame. Will they still find me attractive? Will they pull away when they see? The truth is, psoriasis doesn't just live on the skin, it lives in the spaces between us. The invisible walls we build to protect ourselves. The invisible symptoms of psoriasis are just as real as the visible ones. But we don't have to suffer in silence. We can start the conversation. We can break the silence and share the invisible struggles, the pain, the fatigue, the emotional toll that people with psoriasis endure every day. We can encourage people to listen without judgment. We can advocate for more understanding in the workplace, at home, and in the doctor's office. Psoriasis doesn't have to be a conversation that only focuses on what's seen. These are the silent struggles, the emotional echoes of a visible disease. If you're living with psoriasis and carrying these invisible weights, you're not alone. You are seen. And your story matters. It's time to talk about the invisible, because those struggles deserve to be heard too. If this video resonated with you, don't let these struggles stay silent. Share your experience and help us bring awareness to the invisible battles many face every day. Together, we can shed light on what's often hidden and ensure no one feels alone in their fight. If you or someone you know is living with psoriasis, reach out to Psoriasis. More than skin deep on Facebook for more resources, support, and understanding. Let's talk about what's unseen and together, change the conversation around psoriasis. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more and share a link with anyone you know with psoriasis.